Breathe it in, exhale. Relaxing body and mind, allowing ourselves to be supported by the chair. Grateful for another day. Another day to live and love, to experience this glorious world, to share our gifts, to be with our spiritual family, and to have an experience together. We let go of everything outside of these walls, center in on our hearts, our spirits. We listen to the quiet within our souls. Open ourselves up again to this place of peace that lives within us and as us. The divine presence that is the source of all. The divine presence that sustains us, nourishes us, speaks to us, heals us, calls us forward, supplies us with all that we need and desire. As long as we are open to surrendering to that love. We open our arms wide, affirming the work of the divine in our lives. And we just let ourselves be here in the moment. Blessing the place where we now stand. Blessing all that is. Giving thanks for all the goodness that is overflowing into our lives in every moment of every day. We celebrate love and life. Divine, unconditional love, an infinite, all-sustaining life. We rest here in the stillness. Inviting the stillness to flood our minds, quiet our busy brains. We invite love into our hearts and let go of fear and doubt. We give thanks for healing. Healing of our hearts, our minds, our spirits, our bodies. Knowing that that divine presence circulates through our bodies, in every cell of our bodies. Life fills us. Life is us. We open ourselves to discovering God in all circumstances, in all things, in all that we see and feel, in all that we taste, in all that we touch, in all that touches us, makes itself known to us. The surprises of life, the synchronicities we notice, all of it, God making itself known to us. Be still and know that I am God. And here we rest in the stillness. The stillness is a green pasture that Scripture references, where we lie down and rest and breathe and relax and surrender fully, giving our hearts, our minds, our spirits, our bodies to God. And through that, we are given all things. And here and now, we affirm that oneness and our connection with Spirit by singing our centering song, Spirit's Prayer. Divine Audacity by Linda Martella Whitsett. This is from the chapter on will, one of the 12 powers. And this section's about commitment. Out of infinite possibilities, I have chosen one. I determine it is mine. I resolve to follow its calling. Then I commit to it. Commitment places me on a particular path. Commitment leads not to random action, but deliberate, intentional action. Choosing and following this one path means I do not choose or follow another path. I do not flit from path to path. I, one-pointedly, wholeheartedly devote myself to this path. Jesus' teaching about the narrow gate applies here. Enter through the narrow gate, for the gate is wide, and the road is easy that leads to destruction, and there are many who take it. For the gate is narrow, and the road is hard that leads to life, and there are few who find it. That's from Matthew chapter 7. Fundamentalist interpreters of this Bible passage suggest Jesus' message is about heaven and hell, i.e., you'll go to heaven if you follow the strict precepts of your Christian religion, and you go to hell if you do not. Consider instead the wisdom in this passage regarding the way we are living here and now. Jesus suggests that our life energy becomes scattered when our attention is unfocused and aimless, leading to self-destructive action. The narrow gate indicates selective attention. The hard road admits the human challenge of remaining centered and returning to the path when we have detoured. What is the narrow gate? For Christians, the narrow gate is devotion to Jesus and his teachings. For Taoists, it is the Tao. For Unity students, it is prayer and meditation, study and service. For yoga practitioners, it is asana and pranayama, bhakti, and seva. For humanists, it is the path of human decency and generosity. For all of us, the path is the plan we discern as the road to fulfilling our sense of purpose. Getting onto the path, committing, harnesses spiritual power. The spiritual forces of creation are unleashed. We free our brains from vacillating unproductively. The energy that earlier dissipated in indecision now is directed toward being on the path.
Oh my God, so much better. Thank you, Mark. Wow. Good morning, everybody. Okay, today's second inspo moment is brought to you from How to Use Your 12 Gifts from God by William March, and it's on strength. All strength originates in spirit and manifests in many wonderful ways through your consciousness. Steadfastness is one way in which you benefit by placing God at the head of your life. It is your ability to stay fixed in a direction and unwavering in spite of all appearances. It keeps you firm in purpose. It is your ability to be firmly established in faith rather than fickle and on again, off again. Steadfastness is a great complement to faith because it allows you to stick with it, so to speak. Many people begin developing their awareness of faith, but soon drop the whole thing at the first great challenge. Strength in the form of steadfastness is unwavering. True spiritual strength sees that your choices result in upward movements rather than in random up and down experiences. Depression and discouragement are overcome by drawing upon strength as the energy of God. Depression and discouragement are but mere temporary experiences when you still yourself to your source of strength. And together we say our affirmation 3 times. God is the source of my strength, and so I am firm in faith and in purpose. God is the source of my strength, so I am firm in faith and in purpose. God is the source of my strength, so I am firm in faith and in purpose. Thank you.
So somewhere between divine inspiration, between prayer, meditation, and manifestation, things happening in our lives, is a doing, where we get to live and express what it is we are inspired to do. I think about this a lot because as I step more fully into things I know that I am called to do by Spirit, sometimes I hesitate and I overthink what it is that I am inspired to do. And a lot of the time, I could have done what it is I've been inspired to do in the time that I took to overthink it. To overthink. And sometimes I talk myself out of the doing because I start to rationalize. I start to think I know better about what I should do than what Spirit has inspired me to do. And so I linger in this place of indecision, as Laura read about, as I was reading about will and this power of will to do, to step forward. That's our executive faculty that says, this is what I'm here to do now, and I'm here to do it. And sometimes we just have to do it. You know, in 1987, the advertising company, Weeden and Kennedy, came up with Nike's ad campaign, Just Do It. Just do it. They knew that Nike had a number of different products, and it had different ad campaigns, but there was nothing that was the umbrella for those ad campaigns. There was nothing that made it all make sense for this one company. And they came up with that, and actually there was a lot of unexcitement, a lack of excitement about that. And the executives of Nike didn't quite go with it, didn't think it resonated. However, they went with it anyway. They said, okay, let's do this. And the world responded to it. Athletes responded to it. Because at some point, no matter how much you think, no matter how much you've prayed, no matter how much you have meditated, you just need to get the thing done. Just get it done. No matter what it is. You know, I spent probably about 20 years, I had an exercise business when I lived in the Washington, D.C. area, and in my personal training days, I would help people exercise and get to what they needed to do. It wasn't unusual for me to go into houses and treadmills were places to hang clothes, as were bicycles and any other piece of equipment, weights that were collecting dust in the corner. Because we get it all and we intend to do it all, but we don't just do it. We don't get to it, even though we know it's good for us. Even though we know that there is physical freedom at the end of that. That we get to feel better, perhaps look better, be healthier if we do the thing that's sitting right in front of us, and yet we don't do it. There have been days, and still are, less so now, where I'm talking myself out of working out, and I could have finished my workout in a half an hour. I'm laying there deciding whether to work out. Should I do this workout? Should I get on the treadmill? Should I do that? Maybe if I just got up and did something, I could be done and be one more day closer to being healthier. Sometimes we just need to do it. Just get it done. When are we going to stop vacillating? When are we going to stop rationalizing? When are we going to stop overthinking what Spirit has for us? When are we just going to get busy? And we do talk a lot about being in the silence and meditating. Yes, that's wonderful. Yes, we need it. That is where we get the discernment, and that's where we hear the messages we need to hear so that we can execute what we need to execute. And yet, most of the time where we fall down is in the execution. We just don't do it. Or we do it halfway. Or we do it and we grumble as we're doing it. We fuss as we're doing it. We curse the doing as we're doing it. The only part I don't like of working out is before I work out. When I'm in it, I like it. I love the feeling of feeling strong. I love knowing that I'm lifting more weight than I did a month ago. I like being able to go to my doctor and she's pleased by the numbers, by my test results. I like knowing that even though I'm of a certain age, that I can still do things that I was doing 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and that I don't have to think about whether or not there's something I can do. Whether it's go for a walk, take a hike, pick something up off the floor. Something as simple as that. Sometimes we're called to be something new in a relationship. Sometimes we're called to say something, to have a conversation we don't necessarily want to have. But we're called forward to do it, and we hesitate because we're still thinking about the doing. We're worried about the consequences. We're worried about what we need to say, and when do we say it, and do I say it now? When Spirit is only calling us forward and saying, just do it. I believe that when I get the inspiration, that's the time to move. I don't know that I've ever been inspired to say a particular thing, but say it next week. I mean, if it's here and now, it's in the here and now that I should do. And it's in the hesitation that we end up doing ourselves a disservice. Again, it depends on what you believe about life. It depends on what you believe about God and what God calls us to. If you always believe, or if you believe that God is always calling us to our highest and best, then what you've been inspired to do is something that is good for you. No matter how difficult you think it is, no matter how uncomfortable you are thinking about the doing. Well, I don't know, God, I never did that before. Are you sure you're talking to me? I've said that. I've never done that. When we're being called to higher living, to more expansive living, to greater joy, to greater love, we're always going to be doing something we've never done before. Or we're doing it in a way we've never done it before. So, yes, the human side of us may be uncomfortable in the moment. Well, I don't know. What's my spouse going to think if I react in a different way or if I don't react at all? I don't know. What if I show up with my friends in a different way because I'm inspired now to keep my mouth shut rather than argue? What are they going to think? What will I think of myself? What if I mess it up? What if I don't do it right? That used to be my thought often. What if I don't do it right? Or what if I don't do it perfectly? We're called to do, and we're called to do with the energy, with the strength, with the will that we have at the time we're called to do it. And in that moment, Spirit is letting you know that you have what it takes. Now, just do it. Get it done, beloved. The gift is in the doing. And we get to discover more of ourselves and consequently more of God in that moment. I was reading the daily message in Neville Goddard's The Daily Manifester. And it said that heaven is not a destination, heaven is a discovery. And that you get to discover and experience heaven in the doing, in the living, in the here and now. And that heaven is in God in the moment, in what we're inspired to do in the moment. I've never been disappointed by following the intuition, the inspiration that Spirit gives me. Never been disappointed, even if I felt uncomfortable. And a lot of times I am uncomfortable because, like I said, I'm being called to something higher. I'm being called to do something I'm not used to doing. I'm being called to break a pattern that I've had for days, weeks, months, years, decades. Most of us have patterns we don't think about and aren't aware of because we've been doing them for so long. They're unconscious. And when Spirit's calling us higher, it's calling us to break a pattern. It's calling us to be something new. To be something new. Discover more of yourself. Embrace more of your divinity. Embrace more of my divinity, I believe God is saying. Embrace more of heaven in the moment. Besides, be still and know that I am God. One of my other favorite scriptures is, I come that you may have life and have it to the full. Have it to the full. Not eke by, taking crumbs out of life, having a little bit of this and that in life, a little bit of love, a little bit of peace, a little bit of joy. So I came that you can have it to the full. But if you want just a little, you can have just a little. You know, we have free will. If you want a pouring out of love, you can have it. But we have to open our arms wide. We have to open our hearts. We have to surrender to that love. We have to be willing to hear God calling us forward to love in different ways. In the way that we receive it, in the way that we give it, in the words that we say, in the things we're willing to hear with our divine ears, not our human ears with all our filters and all our baggage covering things up and twisting people's words. Sometimes we just need to get it done. You know, we have that word adulting now. How many times do I see, at least once a day on social media, I see something about, I don't want to adult today. We get tired. And why are we tired? Why? When we are being called to something higher. Or maybe our view of adulting is skewed. Maybe our view of ourselves is skewed. And we don't think we have what it takes to be all that we can be in God's eyes. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's not adulting in itself. Maybe it's what we think of ourselves. Maybe we're thinking about all the times we think we fell short, or that we failed, or we didn't do it perfectly. Maybe we're stuck on that. And maybe we're being called to open up our eyes about who and what we are in the moment. You know, those things that keep cropping up, you keep thinking, why am I going through this again? Why is this coming up? I thought I dealt with this. Why do I have this pattern? Why do I keep dating that guy with a different look? Different name, same thing. Some of us marry the same person over and over again until we learn the lesson about ourselves, probably not about them, but we're the common denominator. And so it's us that we need to look at. Remember, everything is an inside job. And so the doing is our doing, not somebody else's. It's always an inside job, no matter what we're presented with. We just need to get to the doing, get to the changing, to the transforming. And so when we hear a message, when we know that it's Spirit calling to us, it's the heeding the message that brings transformation, that brings life to the full. It's in the doing that we get to discover that we get to strengthen, as Laura was reading about. We get to strengthen ourselves, that spiritual muscle that prepares us for greater living, that opens the door to greater living. Just get it done. Just do it. Say what you need to say. Do what you need to do. Rest when you need to rest. Be quiet when you need to be quiet. Listen to the divine when the divine is calling. Know the voice of God in your heart and follow that forward confidently, knowing that whatever you're called for is for you, for your good. You know, let go of these brains of ours that want to analyze and calculate and rationalize and figure it all out. Why me? Why am I being called to do this right now? Why this way? Why that way? I don't want to do it now. How many of us get like 2-year-olds when we're called to something? I don't feel like it. I don't want to. I forget what minister it was who said, it has nothing to do with what you feel. Most of the time, we don't feel like anything. We don't want to get up. We don't want to go to work. I don't want to wash the dishes. I don't want to work out. I don't want to eat right. I don't want to drink more water. I don't want to act right. I just want to punch him in the face. I want to put my fist through the wall. I just want to be mad. I just want to be right. I just want it now. I wanna. But what do we really want? I believe that each of us, in our deepest hearts, wants life to the full. All of us want unconditional love. All of us want compassion and peace. All of us want health and vitality. All of us want financial freedom, whatever that means for you. But that means we got to do something in between the inspiration and the manifestation. We keep wondering why we don't have, why we don't feel, why I don't have more love. We feel unseen. We feel like life's not for us. We feel like life's passing us by. When it's just all here waiting for us. And something is inspiring us to do the things we need to do, to have the things we want to have. And yes, that may include material things. Most of the time, not. Because if you're trusting implicitly, if you're heeding the word that you hear, when you hear it, all things will come to you with grace and ease. You'll never have to worry about whether you have enough money. You'll never have to worry about whether or not you have enough energy for the day. You don't have to worry about whether or not you can be with a certain group of people and not be driven crazy. You don't have to worry about, should I stay or should I go? You don't have to worry at all. Because you're trusting implicitly and you know that whatever it is you're inspired to do is for your good, and you just get it done. Just get it done. I've tested myself lately, and when I find myself hesitating, now I give myself a certain amount of time to hesitate, and then I go. So I say, okay, you got 5 more minutes to think about this workout, and then you're going to work out something. So go ahead, sit here, doom scroll all you want for 5 more minutes, and then get up and get busy. Got a difficult phone call to make? I can sit here and I can whine about it. I can think about it, rationalize it. But in 5 more minutes, I got to make that call. And I got to take a deep breath and ask for Spirit to speak through me and give me the words I need to speak. And most of the time now, I don't even need the 5 minutes. I just do. I sit there and I think, what is it I want? I want life to the full. I want health and vitality. So I get my butt up and I work out. I go out to eat. I don't have to eat at all. I don't have to have dessert. Or I have it and I enjoy it. And I don't kick myself later. And maybe that means I work out more later in the week. I don't know, whatever I'm inspired to do. And I do it openly, joyfully, gratefully, because I know that what I'm inspired to do is leading me to my good, and I just get it done. Just do it. Just do it. So I have far less hesitation, especially first thing in the morning. I just get up and do. Get up and live. Get up and express. Get up and love. Get up and be productive. Get up and do one more thing towards my mission and my purpose. Write the email. Make the phone call. Apply for the job. Quit the job. Say yes to the relationship. Say no to the relationship. Whatever it is, Spirit's inspiring us in every single moment to lead us to our good. And all we have to do is just get it done. Say yes and get it done. Say yes and move. Get a move on. Every morning, my father, if we weren't out of bed by a certain time, especially if my mother had given us chores, he would come through and he would say, all right, up and at 'em. And if you didn't get out of bed, he would come in and he would fling the covers off of you. I hated that. Didn't matter how cold it was, didn't matter how tired you were. When we heard up and at 'em, get out of bed. And he better hear those feet hitting the floor. Because if we're not up, he's getting us up. Just get it done. Just do it. When are we going to trust enough, have faith enough, strength enough to do what we're called to do? And be grateful for the inspiration, grateful that there's something supporting us, talking to us, leading us forward, guiding us to our highest and our best in every moment, and saying thank you and just getting the deed done. Just getting it done. Every moment of every day, I hear Spirit speaking to me. Do this now, do this later. I start into something I'm not supposed to be doing because I believe that Spirit's got my whole day here in mind. And so if I waste time here, then I'll run late there. And I don't want to be late there because I want to do my highest and best. I want to show up as the professional I am. So if I'm doing stuff I don't need to do in the morning and I'm wasting time, then I don't get to do what I'm called to do the way I want to do it. And so I listen to that, and sometimes I have to pull myself back. I end up, it's like that shiny thing, the squirrel that shows up. And you're doing one thing, and suddenly you're doing another thing. And I have to reel myself back and put the thing down. Not now. Go do what you need to do so that you can get where you need to get. And have the energy for what it is you're called to do. That, I believe, is Spirit leading me through my day so that I can have it peacefully and have life to the full in the day. We think it's just stuff, and it's all God leading us forward, knowing what we want. So do you want life to the full? What do you want? You have to ask yourself, what do you want in the moment? As you're moaning and complaining, ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want? Because what you're called to do is leading you to what you want, truly what you want. Not the whiny side of you, the divine, magnificent you. What that one wants. That's what Spirit is talking to. And it's letting the whiny side of you know that that's not really you. I came that you might have life and have it abundantly. Overflowing into your life. Goodness, just for you. Just for you. And all 8 billion others of us. All of us led to our good. If we will be open to the good, if we will say yes to the good, if we'll stop moaning and complaining and rethinking and overthinking and questioning what in our hearts we know is good for us. Just do it. And celebrate in the doing. Celebrate when it's done. Be thankful. Thankful for this divine presence that is moving and working in all things in our affairs if we will let it. If we will let it. That's why that beautiful soul walked through those doors earlier. Because she just did it. Because I heard her say it years ago, I'm going to walk again. And I'm going to walk through those doors. She told me that. And she walked through those doors this morning. Because she just did it. And I'm sure there were days she didn't want to get up and walk. I'm sure there were days her body didn't cooperate. I'm sure there were days she was rethinking whether or not. But I don't know. I know Judy Howard, she probably wasn't. She was thinking about walking when others doubted probably she could walk. She walked through those doors this morning. That's what can happen when you just get it done, when you don't feel like it, when your body's not cooperating, when your brain's not cooperating, when the little you, the whiny you is telling you no. The magnificence of you is saying yes, just do it. And you can have life and have it to the full. Thank you, Judy, for being an inspiration. Yes. Let's take this in a meditation. So we open ourselves to all good things, to that which, by all appearances, might seem impossible, we open ourselves to God, to the divine, and the possibility of all things. We affirm that we have everything we need to do everything we are called to do in the moment we are called to do it, and we just get it done. So I invite you here in this moment to think of something in your life you are hesitant about doing, something you keep thinking and rethinking, rationalizing. What is it that you'd rather put your head in the sand and ignore? Rather than harness your power of will, the power of strength, to just get it done. To discover more of heaven in the moment, to discover more of God, more of you as divine in the moment. What's one thing you can do this week that you've been called to do, but you haven't yet gotten it done? Just let yourself be with it. Knowing that it doesn't matter how long you've been hesitating, that at the right moment, when you are called to do it once again, you can get it done. Know that with the power of the divine working through you, all things are possible. All things are possible. Through him that strengthens us. So we say yes to life to the full. We say yes to abundant living. We give thanks to First Cause, to the source, the creator of all things, that leads us forward to our good in every moment. We give thanks for life, for another moment to try again, to be all that we are called to be in the moment, to be all that we are called to be in this lifetime. will be a blessing to ourselves and all those we come into contact with. To bring more light to the world, so desperately in need of more light. To bring healing to the world, so desperately in need of more healing, more peace, more compassion. More unity, more harmony, more laughter. We say yes to our magnificence and the magnificence of the divine. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale. We relax and give ourselves over to it. Breathe, relax, settle in. Say yes. Say thank you. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.